Hi Hari, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So have you watched my previous sessions?
Yes, sir. I keep on checking in on offline classes, the recorded sessions.
Okay, okay. So have you any kind of doubt or
No, sir. I'm
something?
I'm just implementing one by one because I'm been me delayed a
Okay,
week. I've been started after started sections. I've been uh, I've been watching the recorded session before a
okay,
week. Okay,
okay, okay,
that's why I've been no doubts here though so far.
okay, okay. Then hello Sajay.
Hello, sir.
Okay, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine. What about you, sir?
I'm good too. Okay, let's just wait for few more minutes and then we will start today's session. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay.
okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, till then join to the others. So I would like to walk you guys through some terminologies before starting today's session. So let's just share this thing. I mean share my screen. And so these are not very big gigantic terminologies, but these are the very understanding concepts. Let's say when people saying authentication and authorization, people are really confused, and some people are mixed these two terminologies. They thought they are totally same, and there is also one more terminologies named as validation. So often we can see that people are getting confused by these terminologies. Sir, what is the validation? What is the authentication and authorization? So let's just walk you through with these terminologies. But let me just first open my tablet pane. And so the first thing first, uh, okay, I have to select a pen first. Yes. So the first one term is authentication. So what is basically authentication? So when a people come on your website, and let's say he have to fill some input fields. Let's say in your in your website, there is a form, and the form of two inputs. The first one, the enter the username, and second one is the password, right? So let's say you have these two input fields inside your web application. So when a user come, enter the username and the password, and if it gets matched by correct one, so okay, I'm so sorry guys, I have a phone call, I have to pick that. uh, okay, I'm so sorry. Let's just wait just for 1 second. I'm just respond. I'm just again walk you through on the same topic. Hello, hello. What I see that. ठीक है दादा हम इधर थे इधर अभी কিছু মিনিটের মধ্যে ক্লাস করছি পড়া আমি কিছুক্ষণ মধ্যে বলছি Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. I have called and I have to pick my call. Uh, so I was talking about the authentication. So authentication is something when a user enter their username and password, and your web application to what? Your web application check the username field and password field, and your web application checked with inside your database that if user enter the correct username and password, if if the username and password get matched from the database, that user has already been saved as their username and password. So it will authenticate to uh, it will authenticate to log in inside your web application. So this is basically the authentication. Authentication means what? It will basically match your enter fields to information that has been already recorded inside the database. If it will match, then it will permit you to, yes, you are a genuine user of our web application. Now you can enter the website. So this is the basically concept behind the authentication. I hope that you are already understand this thing, because in day-to-day life we can see this thing very easily, right? So this is the authentication part. But now the second terminology is authorization. Sir, what is the authorization? The words are very similar. Authorization. So authorization is something that has questioned that is the user are the same, that enter the password and the username field are the same person or not. Let's say you have a application. Let's say you have a not e-commerce. Let's say you have some finance related web application. If I am taking the example of Paytm, right? Let's say, uh, let's talk about the example of Paytm, or any kind of you can say the finance related web application, or any kind of application that should have some restricted routes. Let's say inside your Paytm wallet there is so many restricted, or you can say very highly confidential routes are there. Let's say your banking details, banking details, and let's say your spending analysis, right? So these are the some of very highly confidential routes inside your Paytm application. But things are what? Let's say authorization is something that will continuously checking that is the same user that enter the username or password are the that person who are who are going to access all these routes or not. And how can he check that? Because of the JWT authentication. JWT authorization. JWT means JSON Web Token. JWT authorization. So JWT authorization, actually its full name is JSON Web Token. So how it will authorize the user that this is the same user who enters the username and password. How it will identify? I will come up to this topic in just in a after just some time, but let's just understand one very important topic, that is the HTTP request. The the characteristics of HTTP request. Why it is so important? Uh, I know that you may be thinking that, sir, you are teaching about the JWT authentication, and you are just saying how how we are how our application can identify that this is the same user that enter the username and password field. And sir, how you are just jumping out into the another topic? Just let's just hold on. This is a very important topic, because if I just started talking about the what is the top token and how it will compare to the previous state, so you will not understood this thing, right? So I have to make sure one thing, that you have a very good knowledge of HTTP requests. So HTTP is what? HTTP is server request. HTTP is a server requests. So if we are and HTTP's full name is hypertext uh, topology protocol. So this is basically this is basically a request. It's a request of server, right? But HTTP is not something like we are doing we are doing the scenarios in our web application. It is a server based thing. It hasn't some kind of memory, right? Let's say you are create a variable, let's say var a, var x, var y. So it has some space, and it will take some space inside your RAM, right? But HTTP is not working something like that. So HTTP is what? HTTP is headerless. It doesn't have any head. Let's say every
Sir, can
application.
you?
Huh,
Hello,
huh.
sir. Can you
Yes.
come in, sir? What did you just said?
Sorry.
What did you just said, sir? I cannot get you because there is some.
Okay, okay. I was
Your
saying,
voice just
I
break.
was saying that HTTP is a server request and it is a headerless thing. Why I'm saying it is a headerless? Because it does not have head, like we have when we are making some application. So we should have some kind of head, right? We are started our application making with head tags, right? Head tags and body tags. But HTTP protocol does not have head, right? So it is basically headless. And second point is that it is not some kind of memory it has that it will store something. It is totally a server side thing, right? In server, which took our request and sent to the database and server thing. So it is basically doing the job of transporting something, right? It is doing the job of transporting, right? So it does not have memory space. So basically it is a stateless. Why stateless? Because it is not able to remember its previous state. HTTP is not capable to memorize its previous states. Understood, Sajay?
No, sir.
You are not able to understand. Okay. Uh, Actually, you have a computer. Okay. So inside your computer there is a RAM, right? Inside your computer you write everything. Let's say you are making a variable name as var x and it has a value of 10. So it will take some kind of memory space inside your RAM. So uh, are you convinced or not? It will
Yes,
take
sir.
some memory space, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
but in case of HTTP, this is a server side thing. It helps to transporting information. Basically, HTTP, what is the job of, if I write what is the job of HTTP? So HTTP, if you are just suppose that HTTP is a man whose job is to transporting the information. Let's say if client type uh, in a browser that, hey browser, I just want to access google.com, right? So HTTP will do what? HTTP colon double slash, and it will do www.google.com, right? So it will do what? This first thing. I'm very damn sure that whenever you do some request, if you are click on a URL, so you will see HTTP, right?
Yes, sir.
You definitely see this thing, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
so it has a job of okay, let me just quickly, yes, now, right, it has a job of transporting the information. Let's say if we are look at a postman, what is basically job of postman? I'm talking about the real postman who has the job to transfer the letters from one place to another, right? So their basically job is what? To transferring the information. Letters are what? Letters are basically information, right? So
Yes, sir.
HTTP do the same thing in a if I am talking about in a scenario of server side. Okay, so there will be not a person who will take the client request, and he will go or you can say running by their legs and transferring the data to the data. So it will not possible, right? and it is a totally meaningless talk that I'm talking about. So the thing is, so idea behind is that HTTP has a job of basically a postman. So it will basically transfer the data from one place to another. I mean, from client side to server side. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, it's so much of thing. Yes, I'm talking about the HTTP. So HTTP has basically it has not some kind of memory, right? If I'm talking about the server side transferring message, so it does not it does not have any memory space. So if a person, sorry, I don't need this question mark. So I'm just asking you one question. Let's say if a man who have not any mind, uh, a man who have not any brain space. Let's say the man, a man is very good at the physique level, but he doesn't have any kind of brain. So he is basically forget everything, right? So these some kind of scenario is with the HTTP request. HTTP is a very good person. If you are saying something, so he will do their job. If you are saying to HTTP that, hey HTTP, I just want to access amazon.com or netflix.in, right? So HTTP will do what? He will he will uh, he will send your request to the server, and you will get the response back, right? But the problem with HTTP is that it will not even remember what you are calling just before on just before one call back, right? Let's say if you are requesting if you are requesting something. Let's say you are requesting Netflix, right? HTTP double colon slash Netflix you are requesting. So HTTP will do what? HTTP will response you back the Netflix, right? But it will not able to remember. And now let's say when you are requesting the Netflix, it will send you back the Netflix account. Let's say now you are want to access the Amazon, amazon.com, right? So HTTP will do what? Again HTTP will send your request to the server side, and server will respond you back the Amazon website, right? But now if you are going to ask to HTTP that, hey HTTP, what I was requesting, just one request back, right? So it will not able to answer. It will not able to answer you that what kind of request I will send you back just before the one request. Let's say you are requesting the Netflix, so it's very obvious that you are requesting Netflix, right? but but the thing is, when you are going to ask with HTTP, it will not able to it will not able to recall itself that what kind of request you are requesting. So this is the funda with HTTP protocol. So you guys are watching the movie Ghazni. Have you watched?
Yes, sir.
So Ghazni has a problem. he will forget everything within 15 minutes, right? So the same kind
Yeah.
of funda with this HTTP server. So he is not able to memorize, right? So this is the major issue with HTTP. Now let's just come back to the main discussion where I was discussing how a application authorize that this is the same user that are that want to access this route, this confidential routes. So so the idea behind is that JWT is a package. JSON Web Token is a package which basically provides the token, right? So if you are not going to use JWT, okay, so probably you don't want that any users, let's say, uh, maybe you have a doubt that is that the same user that want to authorize that want to access the protected route. Let's say you have a login page, okay, you have a login page and users come and enter the username and password, and he want after the authentication of your login page, he are now here he is able to access all the protected routes like the banking details, and let's say spending analysis, let's say investment portfolio, and the some kind of the, let's say, there are so much of highly confidential routes, and you don't want to anyone access those protected routes, right? You don't want, as a businessman, you really don't want that somebody comes and enter your customer's username and password, and now he is able to access the all the uh, all the routes that you don't want. So in that case, what you want to do? So so it will uh, so the solution is that the time of the authentication, I mean, when a user when a user logged in, so you will send a token, okay? So the token will be mixed of some string and number and some, yes, string. So the token contains some string and uh, some numbers. So that token will match with your database. So inside your database there will also a token, so that will generate in a time of creation, or you can say registration form, right? So when user came your website, so he must have to register inside your web application. So that time it will generate a token, okay? So every time when you when users are logged in, and he is trying to access some protected routes, or you can say very highly confidential protected routes he is trying to access, so it will match the token, that it will the same token or not. And your token in the time of login, it will stored inside a cookie, okay? So cookie have a token, and this token will compare with your actual token that is inside your database. So if it is same, so it will grant you permission to access those protected routes. And if it is not, then you will then deny your it will deny your permission to access those protected routes. I know that you have so many of questions, sir. What is the need of this, and why even need the JWT? If anybody able to authenticate your web application, sir, what's the point of this? Okay, hold on. I just want to explain you a little bit more, and this is very important. If you are not able to, let's say, everything, whenever you are going to learning something new, you should have a question why. This why is very important. Even I can say, whenever you are going to start something, started learning something, or in every aspect of life, you should have a question why we need this. So let's just simplify this thing, what I'm trying to say. So if I'm saying, Sajay, you have to install a finance application. Let's say the application name is finance application. Okay. And you have to do just one thing, that is, you need to enter the username and password. Okay, Sajay? You entered your username and password, and let's say my application, I mean this finance application has some routes, some protected routes, uh, let's say banking details, and let's say credit details, and let's say debit details. Okay, but the very first thing is that when you are entered inside my application, you are able to access all these highly confidential routes. But the thing is, but the thing is, the time when you are going to access all these routes, you have to enter password every time. Why? Because I have to check your credibility. Your I just want to check your credibility, that is that the same user or not. How I can permit you? Let's say how I can permit you, cause I am sitting at the remote location. I don't know you, right? I don't know you. So how, on behalf of which thing I can say that this is the same user, right? Sajay, Sajay, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to say, are you able to understood?
Yes.
So if I ask you every time that you need to log in every time, the time being when you are going to access any of routes, you have to enter your username and password. So is this will be a good idea, or is this be very will it be very good user experience that user have to enter username and password every time? Will it be good user experience? No, not at all. Even it will be very irritating, right? It will very irritating that user have to pass the username and password every time, because because the first thing is that HTTP is not able to memorize the its previous state, the username and password that you entered the time of login the application, right? Let's say HTTP requests are only HTTP requests are not able to memorize your username and password, right? And the time being when you are going to access this banking details, so HTTP requests are again confused. What was my previous state was? Your HTTP request was getting confused. Sir, what was my previous state? I forget my previous state. What kind of users give the information? What is the what was the username and what kind of numerics and alphabets inside your password? I forget that, right? So the first problem is that HTTP forget the your username and password, and the second thing is you have even this second point is that the I have to check your credibility that you are the same person or not. So the both cases are very you can say it's a very complicated, right? The both condition are very complicated. The first thing is HTTP forget your username and password, and he will rest he the first thing is that HTTP not permit you to fetch the protected routes. Even he will ask the username and password every time. And the second point is, even I have also some trust issue, right? So developers 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 are from the community. They developed very very good package named as JWT token. So it will do basically what? It will generate a token. Okay, it will generate a token, and token is mixed of the characters, numbers, some alphabets. So things are like that, and it is a very long number of numbers and characters, right? So it will basically checking your information that is that the same user or not, and it will store this token inside a cookie, right? It will store the token inside the cookie every time when you are going to hit a new routes, a new uh, a new confidential routes. So it will match with the cookie and the actual token that have been already there inside your database. It will match with those things. If it will get matched, so it will allow you that, hey user, now you are able to allow this route. And if it will not, it will give you a error message. I hope you guys have understand this thing.
What's up that while we are entering the website, it will generate a token,
Huh.
and the token will saved inside a cache.
No, 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 no. The first time when you are okay, I one more time um I just want to understand you. The first time when you register your website, okay, the first time when you register the website, so it will generate a token. Okay, it will generate a token, and this token will save inside your database, right? So let's say you register in the website and it will generate the token, right? And this token is saved inside your database. So the second time when you are going to log in, you are not going to registration every time, right? Now second time you come the website and you do the login, okay? So at the time of login, it will also create the token, okay? And this token have the similar, and this token will be checked when you are going to hit a different routes, okay? So it will check, okay, sorry, it will check that the username, actually what is inside this token, the username and password is inside this token, but this token is not something like a normal token like 123. So it is a very long string format, okay? And your username and password is inside this long token, okay? Let's say we are entering, let's say uh, uh, user my username is JAY and the password is 123. For just the just purpose of uh, elaborate this thing, I am taking this short username and password, but in actual project you have to take a very big username and password. So token will do what? Token will have so much of string and numbers, let's say as y k j a y, and let's say s t y s t k, and then 1 2 3. So inside this token we have the mix of our username and password, okay? And this part in this and this token is encrypted form. We are very easily understand this, but we have to encrypt this token, okay? We have to encrypt this token. So this token will match every time when you hit a different URL. And also one thing is that this token, the login token here, it is stored inside the cookie. This is stored inside a cookie, okay? And this cookie will every time when you are going to hit a different route, so this cookie will check that is that is that the same token or not which is stored in a database, and if it will same, then it will permit you that yes, you are a genuine user, right? Understood, Sajay?
Yes, sir. But I have one small question, sir.
Uh-huh.
While logging in, we will generate the while logging in, they will generate a token right now, sir.
Right.
In the you are saying the token is an encrypted form.
Encrypted
While
form.
while registration also they will generate a token.
Yes, yes, yes.
Whether the
In the
token
time
will
of
be
registration, it will also generate a encrypted token. In the time of registration, it also generate the encrypted token which is inside your database in a form of encrypted, right?
okay. It will be in from a form of encrypted data right now, sir.
Right. Encrypted data.
Then how the encryption will work, sir? Because while logging in also they will create a same encrypted value.
Yes, it is. Oh, we are taking the help of bcrypt.js. So bcrypt is a package. Okay, it's a npm package. With the help of bcrypt package, it will encrypted your whole information. But the actual so bcrypt is a package of cryptography. Okay, I'm not going to deep inside the cryptography cryptography thing. Cryptography is itself a very big and gigantic subject. Okay, so, but we just have to know this thing that bcrypt is a package which we can take the users of to encrypt anything. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir. So in database, the value will be in the form of encrypted data. We cannot
Right,
access the token right now, sir.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so this is all about the theory part, and a very important thing is that some peoples are not they don't about all those things. These are very important, and I would request you that please uh, keep all these information inside your brain. These are very important. Okay, I'm just taking 1 minute to take some water and can just come back. Okay, knowledges. Okay, now this time we are going to make a application. Okay, I have to quickly add one more page for here. Uh, so this application we are going to we are going to make a fully fledged application where we worked on JWT token and encrypted our password, encrypted our username. So we will see all these things in this application. So before starting the application, we just have to know about that uh, what kind of this application will be. So even the first thing first, we have to make about the users. So first thing, we have to take care about user information. Okay, so user information. Okay, I need to make this thing. So what will be the user information in this application? I just want the first name from the user, their last name, and email, and I just want grab password from the user. Okay, so first thing first, I need to all these fields from a user. Okay, so this will be what? This will be a registration form, and after making this registration form, what I have to care about, we have to now we will have a second task which is making a login page. And what we need to care about this login page, we need to make sure user must enter the email and password. Okay, so these are the bare minimum things that we need to take care about, but these are not a very small thing, cause when you are going to make so much of thing, you need to take care about of whole lot of things. Let's say your field is not just the only fields. Your fields are the some of the very required fields. Let's say email and password should be required field, and then it should also generate a token, how to implement the JWT. So all these things are taken care about. But now let's just start with the bare minimum thing. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, I already have opened a folder named as auth system, and this is totally a empty folder. If I showed you, this is totally the empty folder. So first thing first, we need some kind of folder. But before before initialize the folder name, I have to start my npm. Not start, but I have to init my npm. And how you can init the npm package? You just need to write npm init, npm init. And this time I'm not going to give every details of the question from the npm. So i'm just going to i'm just going with the default one. And now we have to install some of the things. So first thing first, we need to install the express, right? So the command is for npm I and then express.
So why you have used npm init hyphen y, sir?
Huh? Because it will, if I am not going to write hyphen void, so it will ask so many questions. Let's say it will ask the application name, and then it will ask the version and the description of the application and the main file and the script. So it will ask bunch of questions. So I don't want to give every question's answer. That's why I'm just writing a flag of y. So uh, it means that it will, I'm just saying it that by default I just want to everything yes, and just give me the bare minimum page where I can start writing my code. Okay,
Okay.
understood? Okay, so we can see here that our express application is downloaded. Now I also want the mongoose, right? Cause in this time we are going to connect our database using mongoose. So the command is npm I mongoose. This time a very new package I want to getting you guys to introduce with, which is .env. So what is .env? I just let you know in a minute. npm I .env. .env. Yes. And the anything. needed. Okay, let's just check it out. First thing first. Yes, we have till now we have mongoose express dot env. Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah. I need one more package which is nodemon, right? So I need nodemon as a dev dependency. So npm I nodemon, and I want it as a dev dependency. That's why I'm giving it here a flag of D. Now it is also be downloaded. Everything is fine. Now if we are looking into the package.json, yes, now we have nodemon as a dev dependency, right? Now here we can write dev and the nodemon. I just want it will start our page with index.js, but till now we are not having the index.js page. So let's just make this quickly. Index.js, right? Now this time I would like to make one more uh, file named as app.js. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much. Now let's just start writing code. Okay. So okay, I forgot to one more introducing one more thing. Remember we are installed the .env. So what is basically .env file? So .env is a file. It is basically a hidden file. Means you can keep some secret information inside this. Let's say your database port number, your application port number, or let's say if you have to write some secret key, so you should have to describe all these things inside .env file. Why? Because .env is a hidden file. So it will show you inside your VS Code, but when you deploy your application, let's say if you want to deploy your application in AWS or Azure, so it will a hidden file. It will not show any other guys, right? That's why we have to use .env file. And how can we make .env file? You just need to come on your root directory, and you just have to put a dot operator and env. That's it. That's it only. And now let's say define our port, and this time we want to run our application on port number 5000, right? Classically we are seeing that we every time we are defining our port in a same application, but this time we are going to do everything very professionally. Professionally means the same things happen when you are going with a very big application, right? So in big application you have to do the same. You have to follow uh, the same style of doing code when you are going with the some big application. Okay. Now uh, that's true. That's it. Now we have to go inside the um, index.html, or let's say this time I just want to go with the app.js. Let's say go with the app.js. So we can do something like here, uh, const express, and this come from express, right? Let's say define const app, and we have to make it executable of app dot, we can write over here get. So it should have request and response. This time I just want to see res dot send, and this time I just want to make something, uh, I just want to do something differently. That's why I'm taking the h1 tag, and let's say hello backend, right? This time I'm thinking not to going to write app.listen inside app.js file, but this time I just want to do exports, okay, module dot exports and app, right? And now let's just come inside the index.js file. Here we can do what? We can define the variable as app, and this time we have to require from where? Require from just one file back and app, right? That's it. And remember, we have already installed the env file, right? And inside the env, what we have? Port number, right? So how we can use this port number? Cause this time here I want to define the listen part, right? So the idea is very simple. Remember, we are doing port const port equal to process dot env dot port. Remember, I think you guys can remember all these things, right? We are doing the same thing, but here what we have to do? That thing, just we have to write over here const uh, port port and what? Process dot env. Okay, I can do the same thing like this port, but I'm not going to do that this time. So what we can do? We can do simply make it some destructuring style, right? So we are basically destructuring it. So this is the same thing that we were writing just 1 minute back, right? This is the same thing. Sajay, are you understood this? Sajay, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Actually, you are exporting the port and process.env, you are applying that 5000 to the port number, right now, sir?
No, no. Here, yes, yes. This app was exported from here, right? This
Yes, sir.
app
Yeah.
is exported from here, and here I'm importing this thing, the app thing, and
Yes, sir.
here I am just destructuring the port, and it is the same meaning, that is process.env.port, right? Okay, that's totally okay, but I forget one more thing, which
So
is
here process is a default keyboard.
right,
Process.env.
right, right. It is a inbuilt. It is a inbuilt syntax of Express.js.
Okay, so if you are using process.env, it will automatically take that environment
Right,
port from which we have declared, right now, sir, from the root
right.
environment.
Right, right. It will do the same thing. But one thing I just forgot, and that is we have the .env file, but how we can use the .env file, the port one. So now we have to come inside the app.js file, and here we can do import, and now we have to give the path where our a.env file is. Uh, Here we have index.js and okay, config. This is the syntax. Okay, I think I did something wrong cause this is not showing the uh, suggestion.
Why
Okay,
you?
okay, 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 okay. I have to. I I didn't have to write this way, but I have to write something like this. Dot env. Now this time it is giving the suggestion. The moment I start writing dot, you can check here. Okay, let me just do it one more time. Dot. The moment I write dot, not this time it is showing the thing, the dot env. This is how I can assure myself that now I am doing right thing. So this is not the every time. So by the way, this is the syntax. Basically here, basically here I'm doing what? Actually, import is not the right keyword, cause this is the Express application, and inside Express application we don't have import things. We have a always require statement, right? Require. So basically I did what? Basically here I'm just requiring the .env file, and .config is what? Config is this is a method, and this is the method from .env file, and this is the syntax that we have to follow if you are going to use if you are going to some projects. So always remember, you have to write something like this. Okay, I write the wrong spelling of config. This is the correct spelling of config. So you just have to write the require, and then you have to write a .env inside the double quotes or single quotes, and you can write the .config method. Okay, now everything is fine. Now come on to uh, the part where we have to where we are defining our listening part thing, right? So we can write here. app.listen, and here we can give the port, and then what we can give a callback console.log. Let's say uh, server is listening on port uh, I have to write all these things inside a backtick. So backtick, so when you are using backtick, so you can able to use the dynamic use of the variable. So you can write something like this, and you can write port, port, right? Server is running on port, and here you can do something like this. Yeah, everything is fine. Now we can run this application. So let's just run this npm run dev. Now here it is saying server is listening on port 5000. So let's just go and check is it still running or not. Localhost 5000. Here you can see it is saying hello backend, right? Means our server is now up and running. Okay, we are done so far here. Now we have to make some folders, some files and folders. Why some file and folders? Cause this time we are going to use the standardized version. The way we are using in a production grade, the same thing we are going to use the application over here. So first thing first, we have to create uh, a directory named as a model. So second one I need to make is config. So what is basically config? So config is basically configuration. Okay, and the third one, that model. Okay, third one I just want to create is middleware, cause we have to make a bunch of middlewares. So middleware, okay, middleware, okay, and middlewares. Okay, all things are done. If we can see, so we have config folder, model folder, and a middleware folder, and yeah, that's it. So what should have inside our these folders? So we should have a file named as user.js, and the middleware we want to have auth.js. Here we can authorize. That's why we are building a auth file, and the inside the config we should have database.js. So here we should have a connection of database. Okay, that's it that we should have in these files. Now first thing first, how can we use all these things? So first thing, I just want to make sure. Um, okay, let's just start with the very first file, which is auth.js. Uh, Okay, not auth.js because till now we don't have anything. So first thing first, we have to make everything from scratch. So uh, let's just complete the small chunk of small every small chunk of our web application, and after completing these small chunks, then we will work on a big chunks. Okay, so first thing first, we need to define some schemas. Okay. So schemas for what? Schemas for our users. So how we can define our schemas? Okay, I will tell you. Okay, I need to take some water. I will. Okay. So let's just start making some schemas for our users. Schema means what? So schema is a very, uh, let's say, it's a very big jargon. It seems like it's a very big jargon, but it simple means structures. Structure for our users. What a user should have to enter. Okay. Remember in the last class what I was saying you with guys, that when you define a schema using mongoose, so nobody can make some extra field inside your application. So this is a very important thing, right? So let's just start requiring the mongoose package. Mongoose require mongoose. Okay. Okay. Let's say let's name this schema as a user schema. So you may have questions, sir, why you write the variable name as user schema. User schema is a very good name, and it also matched with my purpose. You can write any name of this variable. Even if you want to keep this variable name as Superman, yes, you can. You are allowed to use the variable name as a Superman. But the thing is, you have to keep your variable name very meaningful. So the benefit of using a very good variable name is that the next developer who come after you, so he can easily understand what you want to say, or what you want to make the application. That's why it is necessary to keep a name which makes some meaning. So how you can use the how you would use the schema of MongoDB? You just need to write new and then mongoose dot schema. So this is all the syntactic things of the mongoose, how you have to define the schema, and you need to write the curly braces, and after this what you need to do? So we have to create the first name, right? So what we have to write? FIR, first name. You have to do something like this, and then you have to write the type of the type of type of your first name. That should be string, and we want default as a null. So default is what? So default, by default it should be null, means if someone is not entering any field, so it should be null. Null means what? It should be empty. Understood? Now let's create the last name, and this last name should have a type of string, and by default it should also took nothing, means null. And third field, what would we have? Email, right? Email we have, and it should also have a type of string. And this time I'm not going to give any default null value, but instead of that, this time I am just giving it a required value. So what does that mean? Mean it it should be required. If a user is not going to enter, so it will ask you that this field is mandatory, so you have to write the your email. And this time I also going with one more thing, that is uniqueness, and it have uh, it have a field as unique, UNI, UNIQU, unique, right? And I also make it true, means every time when a user enter their password, it should be unique. Sorry, enter their email ID, it should be unique, right? Now, fourth thing, what we want. Fourth thing, we want password. Okay, so
Sir, why we are
uh-huh.
using required in email and not on last name and first name?
Sorry.
Required field in email right now, so but we didn't use that in last name and first name.
So you can use in any order. If you want to use email first, yeah, you can use.
No, 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 no. What I'm
Huh?
trying to say is there is a field named required in email right now, sir. Required
Huh.
column two.
So
But
yes, yes.
in first name and last name we didn't mention that. Why we didn't mention
No,
that?
no. Actually, yes, you can. If you want, you can put the required thing. So the primary concern, the primary, if you make it true, so it will also work. It will also ask you that you have to give your first name and last name. So the idea behind is that email is something, email is something field that we need to require on behalf of what we can grab the user. I think email is something that should be required in any kind of application, right? That's why I gave here the required as true. But I don't think that first name would be a good idea to give the required field. So you can try it out. So what will happen is that every time when you are going to enter the first name, and let's say you are not filling the first name, so it will not accepting your request. It will say you that the this field is required. Okay, I would say that try it with your own. It will give you a required message. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, now password. So type of password, let's say string. The password should be in string, and um, in case of password, it should also be required, cause it should also be required. Required true. Okay. Okay. And now fifth thing that we have to take care about is token. So I'm not going to do anything, but this is something field that we have to take care in a later part. Okay, order to. So here what we can do, we can just write it here. Type of token should be in string. Let's save this. And what we have to do next, we have to export this thing. Module dot export, and then what we have to do, we have to write mongoose dot model. Mongoose dot model. Yeah. And the first thing the first thing will ask you about your collection name. So my collection name is, if I just open my MongoDB Compass, if I open this, so I want this database. So we have ecom database, and inside ecom database we have products, right? We have products and product. So these two product we have, but this time I'm not go with the ecom, but this time I go with the auth system. Okay, so here we have users. So don't worry that, sir, how this database is created, how this collection is created. I already created. Okay, so the time when I practiced with myself, like how all the application flows off and how it will go to run. So that time I created this database named as auth system, and it have a collection of users. Okay, so this time
Yes.
I am created over here users. Okay, and what we need to pass the second thing, the structures that we created, right? uh, right,
Schema.
that here, user schema, right? So now
Yes.
this is this is the whole schema of the users. Okay, now this is completed, but the very important thing that we need to care about is, yes, here we are already used the mongoose and we define the schema, but till now we are not connected our database, right? We have database file inside the config folder, but till now we are not connected our database. So in order to use our collection, first of all we should establish uh, our database connection. So how we can establish our database connection? So first thing first, we already defined the env file, right? Env is what? Dot env is hidden file. So inside the hidden file, we always we should always write some secret information, like in which kind of port your application is running on, what is the MongoDB URL of where your system is going to work. So our MongoDB port is, if you are looked at our this thing, I hope that you can see my cursor over here, right? So our MongoDB compass location is localhost 27017 and then auth system, right? So what we need to do over here, so let's create a variable name as let's say Mongo URL, Mongo underscore URL. Okay. So what will be our Mongo URL? MongoDB colon slash slash 127.0.0.1, then colon and 27017. This is our, this is all comes from the MongoDB compass. That just right after just I show you the port number of our MongoDB database. Okay, so what we need to write over here? Our database name. What is our database name? Auth system. Auth system. Right? Save this. Again, come inside the database.js. Okay, I'm just I'm just close all the files that we don't need right now. Okay, so yes, we are done with the MongoDB URL. So what we have to do right now, we have to here import the mongoose. So we can say something like const and then mongoose and then require require mongoose. Okay, and then remember, we are define the Mongo URL, right? And we can do the we can even do something like Mongo. Okay, Mongo URL equals to process dot env dot Mongo URL, Mongo URL. But I am not interested something like to write in old fashioned way. We are very new people, right? And we are very young, and we don't want to write some old fashioned uh, syntax. So we are going to destructure this. And how we can destructure? If we are writing something like this, so it has the same meaning that we did just after, right? So till here, I hope that you are.
I
Huh?
have one doubt, sir. Already we have required mongoose uh, in uh, in user.js, right? No, so
In user.js.
yeah.
Where?
So in line number one.
Yes, yes. Here we already required the mongoose cause we need to use the method of mongoose dot schema that is where already defined. It is
Okay.
already defined inside the mongoose package, right?
Okay.
And
Yes.
here also we need to connect with mongoose, right? And
Okay.
there is a method of connect, and connect method is defined inside the mongoose package. That's why we need to require the mongoose package. Understood?
So every time it is like repetition of code, right now. So do we have any other alternatives so that we
Yes,
can?
yes, 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 we can do the, yes, we come up on that thing. But the idea behind is that, uh, first of all, uh, I just want to make this application very simple. First, when you are understood all these things, we come up to that part where we can make a file where we can put all the files that we have to use, uh, that basically we will repeat every time. Okay, so
Okay.
from that file we are just requiring, or you can say import the file in different files.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, now here what we can do, let's just make a function. But this time I'm not going to start with const and writing let's say connection. But this time I would like to directly export this function. And how you can directly export the function, you need to write export dot and function name. Let's say I want to connect the database. That's why I am writing over here connect. Okay, okay, something like this. And we have to do something like this and this. Now, it's totally fine, I think. Okay, not exports, but exports. This is the correct syntax. Okay, so this time, what we need to do, we need to do mongoose dot, and what kind of method we have, connect. This is the reason we are requiring the mongoose, because we have to use the connect method. And inside the connect method, what we can do, we have to just pass the mongo url, this url, right? And just right after that we have to write curly braces. Inside curly braces, these are the two syntax that you have to always keep in your mind, that you have to make this two syntax, that is use new url parser. So how I am writing all these syntax. So these syntax is not that I invent, but all these things comes from the docs, where it has been saying that you have to make it true. Let's say use new URL parser. You have to make this true. And the second argument is uh, use unified topology topology. You also have to make it true. Yeah, that's it. You have to always take care about this thing. So after writing the connect method, the first thing you need to parse, you need to pass the mongo url, and the second thing is you have to make a curly braces. Inside the curly braces you have to write the use url parcel true and use unified topology true. So this is the thing that you have to always keep in your mind. Every time you are going to make the connection, you have to write this syntax. Okay.
But we have connected to Mongoose DB before and all, but we didn't use this kind of use neural parse and use unified topology. What is the use of this in this authentication purpose, sir?
Actually, the purpose is that the mongoose package is not able to parse some kind of URLs. Okay, so after the building of the mongoose package, so some of the community developers identified that this is the problem with the parsing URL inside the mongoose package. So they developed so, they developed some kind of solution, and the solution is that you have to every time explicitly say your connection that make it true, make the URL parser true. Okay, so this is the meaning of these two syntaxes. Understood, Sajay?
So I can understand it, sir, but uh, what URL we are passing inside Mongoose and that stuff, I
Mongo
don't.
URL means it is not your concern. This is the concern of MongoDB. This is the concern of the Mongoose package, that it was not able to parsing the URL. It was not able to parsing the URL. So that time developers decided why we not build some features and we can fix this. So they are fixing this thing by using these two syntaxes.
So the
So
URL you are
basically
mentioning is
was huh
the URL you are mentioning here is that 127.0.0.1 slash
right
27017.
right
Okay.
right right this
Okay.
127, where it comes from, it comes from this mongo url
Okay.
that we are defined over in here this thing.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So basically is what happened here, that mongoose is not able to parse this url. Mongoose are not capable to parse this URL inside the database. So
Okay.
so now we have to use these two syntaxes. Always keep in mind. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now this is not the simple or synchronous JavaScript, because the time being when you are going to connect with Mongoose, so it will throw you error. If you are not going to handle this, so it will going to throw error. So we need to take care about the promises thing. So how we can take care? So we need to give the then method and then the catch method. So inside then we can do something like this, then and console dot log console dot log, and uh, we can see here database connect successfully successfully. Okay. Okay, this is the part of the handle the success request, but what about the failure? So we have catch method. So inside the catch method, we can we can have error, right? And we are not initially we are not going to do something, but we are just dumping down the error part. So let's say db connection get fail. Okay, and what will be the error? We are just showing the error. Okay, and we will also want that after the failure, it will not even just get executed failure message. So we just want to exit from the failure hell. So what we can do here, we can do process dot env, sorry, process not env but process dot exit, and here we can pass one means true. Okay, so this syntax is totally up to you. If you want to write this syntax, so you are feel free to use this syntax. If you are if you are just thought that no, it is a really big syntax, so you even if you are not going to use this syntax, so there is no issue. Okay, I hope you are clear. Okay, this is all about the database connection. This is all for today's session, guys. So it's already 8:48. So that's it for today. We will see in upcoming session how to use all these things and how to make all these application. So I would recommend just please practice it with yourself. Okay, whatever you learned today something, so you just practice it. Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.